Thank you, Zimwaves family, for supporting Zimwaves TV. If you haven't already, click that join button and partner with us as we continue to expose the circus that is Zimbabwean politics. Today, we're going to do something very unusual, something we haven't done on this channel. That is, we are going to talk about prophecies. Not just any prophecies, but words spoken by two prominent figures that seem to be unfolding before our very eyes. When prophecy starts blending with reality, when words spoken years ago begin to align with today's events, like a script being followed to the letter, even the most skeptical among us have to stop and pay attention. Enter Apostle Talent Chiwenga, a man whose words have often sent chills down the spines of both the righteous and the corrupt. He is no stranger to controversy, often speaking with a kind of boldness that makes the powerful uncomfortable. One of his most haunting prophecies was about Zimbabweans being used in 2017 to sanitize the coup that removed Robert Mugabe. The people cheered, danced, and filled the streets, believing they had won, only to be dumped immediately afterward. But here's the real kicker. He warned that this wasn't a one-time event. The cycle would repeat itself. The people would be used again, led to believe they were part of a greater change. And once their purpose was served, they would be discarded like used tissues. Well, he said something that I can't repeat, but yeah, that's what he said. And here's the prophecy that I'm talking about. Unfortunately, this prophecy is going to be in Shona, so please bear with me for those that will not understand Shona. But in the main, he is simply saying, you were used in 2017, you are going to be used again, and you will do the same thing that you did in 2017. After you have sanitized another coup, you will be damned. You will also try to go onto the streets to protest, and then the same army will then turn on you and you'll be killed.
Yes. Saka machemera amuri kuitaya. Mwari ari kuda kutoti muzive kuti ndizvo zvamaipemberera musi uya. Zvinhu zvakanga zvaitwa in a criminal way, but imimi mumhanyira amakaita mustreet, makacleansa, makaita whitewash a criminal activity. Pasi rose rikati aiwa vamugabe wabviswa nevanhu veZimbabwe. Hachisi chokwadi, hamusiri makabvisa mugabe. Yes. Hamusiri. Mamhanyira amakaita maitogeza, maitochenura ropa rakanga radeurwa. Kuti international community it haisi coup, it was by public lack of confidence. Makashandiswa kunge condom. Yes. Vanhu veZimbabwe. Tinofanira kunyara nekuti muchashandiswa futi manje. Ndiri kuprofita kuti vanhu veZimbabwe vachashandiswa futi. Mashandisirwo amakaitwa muna 2017 muchashandiswa futi. Mapedza kushandiswa madhambwa mozotanga futi kuchema, moda kumhanya mustreet modhindwa futi nevanhu vamuda kumhanya against. Musuwa makambomhanya mustreet vachida kuti vaite zvavaida ivo vakakupfumirai. Makambomhanya mustreet kaimi muchiita zvinhu zviri illegal. Yes. Makabvumidzwa.
Okay, that was TF Chiwenga. Now let's look at where we are today. The explosive press conferences by Blessing Geza have shaken the political landscape, calling all the injustices and stirring up mass frustration. The country sits on the edge of what looks like another major political shift. A shift that, if history is anything to go by, might just follow the same script as 2017. A shift where Zimbabweans are once again mobilized, convinced that they are fighting for real change, only for them to realize later that they were being used as pawns in yet another elite power struggle. But that's not all Apostle Chiwenga had to say. He also spoke in parables, one of them being about a father who kept climbing a tree while his children cried for food. This father, blind or indifferent to their suffering, ignored their cries, choosing instead to keep climbing higher and higher. But in the end, a strong wind descended and uprooted the entire tree. Let's hear this prophecy again.
Ndakambopa chiprofita ndiri kuchechi ndichiti ndaona mumwe musha wanga uri muguta ine vana vakawanda vanga vachichema pasina chikafu, amai vachingoti kuvana hazvichaita tichauya nechikafu, vana vachifa. Ndokubva ndaona muti muhombe hombe wanga uchiita kunge mupuranga. Ndokuona baba vemusha vachisiya kuchema kwevana, vachikwira, vana vakaridza mhere, vamwe vana vakafa, vanga vasingaburuke kuzoona kuti chii chiri kuitika, vairamba vachingokwira kusvikira ndakazoona mhepo yakauya iine simba. Ndokubva yadzura mupuranga, baba vanga vakumusoro-soro, zvokuti pakadzurwa mupuranga wakamira nemapazi ekumusoro, ndokubva mudzi waenda mudenga. Kuroti pakupedzesera kwemhepo, baba vakanga vari pavakanga vari vasati vakwira mumuti. Asi hakuna akagona kutaura nababa ava kuti vadzike. Kwakatoshandiswa mhepo yakatouya ine simba, ndo yakaburutsa, haina kuvaburutsa zvakanaka, vakaita zvekudonha. Yakanga iri mhuri iri kuchema nzara, baba vasina hanya nevana. Paitofiwa nenzara, amai vachiti todini, baba vachiramba vakanyarara, amai vachiuya vachinyepera vana kuti baba vari kunotsvaka chikafu, asi baba havana kumboenda kunotsvaka chikafu, vaitoramba vachikwira mudenga. Saka iprofesi yandakapa ndikaramba kuidudzira, kureva kuti nanhasi futi handisi kuzoidudzira profesi iyoyo. Tinoda kungokuudzai kuti muizive, nekuti chiprofita ichocho hachisi chemangwana kana chegore rinouya, ndechenguva dziri kure zvishoma, asi chakatakura mhinduro kune mumwe mubvunzo uri kubvunzwa navanhu.
Okay, that was the prophecy. Now let's break this down. Who is this father figure? Well, who else fits the description of a man obsessed with holding on to power while Zimbabweans struggle to survive? Who else continues to climb higher and higher, securing more influence, consolidating control, while ordinary citizens sink deeper into poverty? If you guessed Emerson Mnangagwa, congratulations, you are officially paying attention. And the tree? That could be his grip on power, his so-called Second Republic, which has proven to be nothing more than a repackaged version of the same old suffering. But the most interesting part of this prophecy is the wind, Baba. What is this wind that uproots the tree? Could it be the growing discontent among Zimbabweans? Could it be the whispers of mass action turning into roars of defiance? Could it be the war veterans coming in through Blessing Gaza? Could it be something even more dramatic, something brewing behind closed doors? Because let's not forget, General Constantino Chiwenga, the man widely believed to be waiting in the wings for his turn at power, happens to be Apostle Talent Chiwenga's cousin. Now, is that just a fun family fact, or is there something deeper at play? Because if history has taught us anything, it's that power in Zimbabwe never simply fades away. It shifts, and shifts can be manipulated. I know that Apostle Chiwenga and Gouver, they do not see eye to eye. Remember that incident where he was abducted and questioned and at a funeral. But Chiwenga is not the only man of God whose words are echoing in today's political atmosphere. No. There is Ian Law, another prophetic voice whose messages have often been taken as cryptic warnings. He once made a prophecy that is now gaining renewed attention. The ego will be invited to serve in the government. Here is Pastor Ian Law's prophecy. Fortunately, this one is in English, so a wider audience can understand.
Are we together, my brothers and sisters? Plus, for you, in a kingdom to be trusted, you have to serve a bit. When David was anointed, 1 Samuel chapter 16, Did he become a king the following morning? He became a king after 7 years. He underwent a lot of persecution. The persecution was meant to toughen his character, to produce stability of character, to produce patience, to produce magnanimity and humility. That's how God, if God has chosen you to be a leader, or God is positioning you to be a leader, it doesn't mean that you will be a leader overnight. That's not how things happen, especially in a kingdom. I say it. When I said God has remembered this nation, that in a kingdom, we can talk of all these other small positions, but when it comes to the highest one, the king, I actually spoke in Isindebele, I said, "Akudlalwa lapha." If I remember very well, I said, and false prophets and the host of other things. You can go to the message, you can revisit it. I'm just setting the record straight because I feel in my inner man that this window may open and close, and that this ego will be forced to wait a longer time than is necessary according to the mind of God. Are we together, my brothers and sisters? Because in a kingdom, for you to serve in any capacity, you have got to be trusted in a kingdom. Are we together? You don't arrive in a kingdom, you operate like a bull in a China shop. You know, a China shop with a lot of fragile things. You have to walk properly, in a kingdom. Your outgoings and your going in, they are measured, they are calculated. It's like there's nothing which is original that you do. You internalize protocol. Hallelujah. So, I'm setting the record straight. The message about a man with an Australasian name, the message about a man with the name of a famous leader, obviously I was referring to a certain famous leader that you are mentioning in your heads. The message about, I'm talking to people who are spiritual, the message about a man with the name of someone, I will not elaborate further. There are 3 or 4 messages that I've issued about that same man. And when I started to release prophecies about this man, he was actually a rank outsider in his organization. And some people who were belonging to that organization, they said I'd missed it. They were mentioning people who were prominent. I told them, according to the Spirit of God, the one who will succeed, this one who is in front, it is this one. They said, but look, he was beaten. I said, I don't care about being beaten. With me, all that I understand is that in a kingdom, things, they don't function systematically. They don't operate in a sequence in a kingdom. There is no logic in a kingdom. Things occur pragmatically and spontaneously. Like right now, as I'm talking, a window shall open. They will open a window, and the arms shall open. Not to swallow. A window shall open so that the eagle can draw near and learn. Because this triumvirate, it's there for a short season. Hallelujah. The triumvirate is there for a what? For a short season. And the people in the fortresses, they have to trust.
Now, in Zimbabwean political symbolism, there is only one person widely associated with the eagle. That is Nelson Chamisa, the man who, despite all efforts to sideline him, continues to be the political figure many Zimbabweans see as the future. So what does this prophecy mean? Are we looking at a post-coup Zimbabwe where the people, having realized they have been played yet again, demand that Chamisa be part of the transitional government? Are we going to see another new dispensation moment where the people are given just enough hope to keep them from rebelling, only for the same cycle to repeat itself? Let's be honest, this wouldn't be the first time Zimbabweans have been led into a grand political illusion. We saw it in 2017. People believed they were part of a revolution, only to realize later that They had simply helped one faction of ZANU-PF replace another. The promises of change turned into tighter repression. The talk of democracy faded into the same old rigging, corruption, and brutality. And now, with tensions rising, with the military rumored to be uneasy, and with Mnangagwa's grip looking shakier by the day, we have to ask, are we about to see the same playbook being used again? And if this coup does happen, what will be different this time? Will Zimbabweans fall for it again, or will they demand real change? Will the people refuse to be used again, or will they dance in the streets once more, only to wake up to the same nightmare in a different form? Will Chiwenga take the reins? General Chiwenga. Will he take the reins? Will Chamisa be invited into government by Chiwenga as a way of keeping the people hopeful, just long enough for the new rulers to cement their power? The truth is, we don't know for sure. We are simply connecting the dots, reading the signs, and watching as history starts to repeat itself in real time. But one thing is clear. Zimbabwean politics is like a snake shedding its skin. It might change appearance, but the venom remains the same. The real question is, will Zimbabweans finally break the cycle, or are we about to witness yet another grand deception? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. Zimwaves TV is watching, and so should you. Stay tuned, because there is another prophecy as well from Chiwenga that we want to bring to you again, which we think is talking about Geza. Subscribe so that you don't miss these episodes. Thank you and goodbye for now.